Hello, my name is Kwame Reed, and I'm the Economic Development Director for the City of Antioch. We will be producing a series of videos to show you interesting facts and history about the City of Antioch. Evangelho Vineyards is located off of 18th Street here in the City of Antioch. The vineyard was planted in the late 1800s and includes 36 acres of Zinfandel, Mourvedre, and Carignan grapes. The vines are some of the oldest in the country.
So there aren't many vineyards that were planted that are still in the ground before the 1880s, and that's because there was an epidemic of something called Falak Syrah, and that essentially killed all the vineyards in the world. It caused them to be ripped out and replaced. So really the oldest vineyards you can find are kind of right after that Falak Syrah epidemic. 98% of vineyards that you see are on rootstock. Out here, these vines are on their own roots because this soil is actually too sandy to host the pest. So these are some of the few vines that you can find that aren't grafted onto rootstock. As far as age ranking, I mean, it's up there with the oldest. Pretty much before 1885, 1884, there's not much older than that.
The vines are dry farmed, meaning they aren't irrigated.
One of the most unique things about vineyards out here in Antioch is the soil is essentially beach sand. It's called Delhi sand soil. And that is incredibly unique. It goes about 40 feet deep. And that means that we actually don't have to irrigate these vines at all at this point.
Due to the age of the vines, the roots have grown as deep as 30 to 40 feet and can provide all the natural nutrition the vine and grapes need on their own. What makes this vineyard unique is a combination of several different factors: the soil, the location, and the climate. As most know, Antioch and the Delta region is known for its warm summers. This climate is ideal to promote the growth of the grapes, but equally as important as the warmth of the area and the unique soil is the cool Delta breezes during the fall.
I would say the other most unique thing is the wind coming off the bay through the Delta. And those two things really make these sites just incredibly unique as far as the quality of their wine.
This unique growing region produces a quality of fruit, making the wines fresh, bright, and with low pH, leaving it much desired by many winemakers.
In its heyday in the early 1900s, late 1800s, they would pick these grapes and put them right onto the train.
The vineyard was strategically planted next to the railroad tracks for the convenience of transportation. As the grapes were originally harvested, they were placed in the rail cars and transported throughout the country. Presently, blends are made after the harvest, but that isn't so for the Evangelho Vineyard. During our visit to the vineyard, we noticed the crews traveling from one variety to another.
In a modern vineyard, you'd have a block of vines that's all one variety, like all Zinfandel or all Carignan. But out here, and the way they did it 100 years ago, was they'd plant all the varieties mixed together. So out here in the field, you'll be walking around and you'll pass a Zinfandel vine and then you'll pass a Mourvedre vine. And that's a unique thing. So instead of blending it in the winery, it's actually blended in the field.
This type of farming was unique to the 1800s and it still works well for these grapes.
These grapes will get picked. They'll go to the winery today and immediately they'll get destemmed. So they'll go through a machine that basically separates the berries from the stems. And then they'll go into a tank, skin, seeds and all, and get fermented that way. It takes about a week for the wine to ferment to dryness. So at that point it'll all be alcohol and there won't be any more sugar left. And then we press the wine off of the skins, so we separate the skins out, and at that point the wine goes into barrels. And all said and done, typically we're bottling a wine from out here in about 10 to 12 months. At that point it's matured enough, and especially with these Zinfandel based wines, they don't need a ton of time in barrel. We like to bottle them within about a year to keep freshness of the wine, because that's really the biggest strength of the wines out here, is just this incredible freshness that they have. To a certain extent as well, the fruit from out here can go into blends. If it says Napa, it has to be a certain percentage of Napa, but it's not uncommon for good fruit from out here to be included in blends like that. The truth is, there's a lot of grapes being picked out here and a lot of grapes being grown out here, and they end up in a lot of the wines that people drink in California.
On behalf of the City of Antioch, I would like to thank the hard-working employees of the Bedrock Wine Company for allowing us the opportunity to feature their winemaking process, from the picking of the grapes here in Antioch to the bottling of the wine in Sonoma. I hope this story about the vineyards instills a sense of pride for all that hold a special place in their heart for Antioch. Having something this unique here in our city is truly something special. I look forward to sharing more stories about the City of Antioch with you. Once again, I am Kwame Reed, Economic Development Director for the City of Antioch. Thank you for watching.